Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. You're on Just Talk, and today I'll be talking about accountants. Accountants are very, very important people. They probably know more about you than your own family. And for that reason, they're very trusted, and it's very difficult once you're with, especially lawyers and accountants, but mainly accountants for sure. Once you form an alliance with an accountant, it's very difficult to leave that accountant. One, because you obviously build this partnership, this relationship. You become, they know everything about your life, your financials, your businesses, your money. And obviously we all appreciate people don't like to discuss financial and money, and even so with family. So an accountant essentially knows all that information. He knows more than many people in your life, and therefore to change accountants, possibly upset your accountant, is sometimes not a great decision to do, or a decision to make, I should say. But sometimes you have to. So the most important thing I feel, one of the most important for sure, is having a good accountant. An accountant will save you not only money, but will tell you the direction to go into, how to set and form companies, how to operate. But you can see there's so many benefits. But my purpose on here is not to criticize anyone, by the way, because anyone associated with myself, I'll never ever name names and criticize them personally. Yes, I'll talk generically and about my experience, but I will never name names because it's not me. I'm not there to degrade anyone. It's if you don't like a service, go to another service. End of story. So I was with my accountant for 15 years. Which is a long time. So ever since I more or less went into business, even before that really, to a certain degree. So it's someone who I knew very closely, and it's very difficult. I don't mind moving suppliers, services, no matter how great a relationship I have. But my accountant was always the exception. So eventually, just to let you know, I did move accountants, and one of the reasons you don't move accountants is because you don't know if the one you go to, the new accountant, is going to be any good either. Is it the better devil you know? So are they going to give him, any more benefit? You just don't know, because you don't have anything to compare to. So you just stick with what you've got. Now my accountant, did the basics, filed in things when they're supposed to file in. You have your corporation taxes at the end of the year. You have your VAT every 3 months. And your reminders come, and you pass them on to him, and he deals with it, and that's how the relationship was, and kept on going. But really, as an accountant, he was extremely poor. I didn't get any benefit from him other than doing really admin stuff, and an accountant should be a lot more than just an admin person. You need a good accountant for your business. If you want to share your business in a good light and maximize your business, you need an accountant who's on board. So anyhow, I was with my accountant. Like I said, he did the basics, but I made the biggest jump I felt I've made, and was moving accountants. It was a period of time where he didn't have really an email system. He wasn't really email orientated. He's obviously a bit old school, but he's youngish. He wasn't old. It's just this is not how they operated. So it was difficult, and I'm a very email orientated person. I'd like to I send so many emails a day, I get so many coming back, and that's how I like to operate. So not getting that from him always used to annoy me, agitate me, and I never used to really get any advice on how to run the companies. It's just me learning, or just trying to figure it out, trial and error, and just crack on. Even when I rang him, I felt like I always felt myself a bit guilty ringing him, taking his time. He's trying to rush me and get me on phone and off the phone, and looking back now, it was a horrendous service, and to be honest, not much cheaper than what I'm paying now, for example. So in reflection, it's the best decision I made. And one of the reasons I had to do that again is because I had to chase, but more importantly, we had to get funding for the businesses, and reach out to investors. And when you have to do that, you need your accounts on point. So essentially, I had to, get information from him. It was very slow, and I said, right, that's it, I've had enough. So I asked a few people, and obviously a lot of people don't want to tell you about their accountants as well. You know, it's one of them things where they're very tight-lipped and, oh yeah, he's okay, but really, he might be great, but they don't want you to know that because, you know, you might get close to them, then they might, you know, tell them information. It is what it is, right? But someone I barely knew, to be honest, who recommended someone, and he said, actually, these guys, you won't be chasing them, they'll be chasing you, and that's really what they actually do. They chase me, and it's great. I ping an email across, I get an email on that same day, if not next working day. And you know, that's vital, especially when you're trying to make decisions quickly and you don't know how to process something, or how to you know, you're buying something, you're not sure how the arrangement should be made. You need someone there quick, and that's why it's very important you have a proactive accountant, because if you don't, you're going to struggle. You're going to lose money. It's as simple as that. You will lose money because you'll do things the wrong way, or you're not sure, and you're just effectively going to lose money. So to save money, you need a good accountant. Now, my accountant is fantastic. First thing we did is we digitalized the whole accounts, because prior to that they were all analog, and that's all good and well when you're a small, very small business, or even a small business. You know, you might have some spreadsheets, you'll be able to do that manually. But when you get to a certain size, when you're to the millions in turnover, you can't do that, and that's how we were operating. And looking back, it was crazy. So you know, when you don't know the financials, you really don't know what your business is doing. Yeah, you might see your bank balance go up and all the rest of it, but really, you don't know where you're losing money to a certain degree. You don't know the comparisons, how it was previous year to this year, where you spent the money. So we did that. We spent a lot of time digitalizing the accounts, making the accounts, every transaction that we put in puts into the right category. And you've got so many fantastic softwares now and they're cheap. So it's important to do, unless you're trying to avoid tax. I mean, it's something you need to do. So you have digital footprint, you can always refer back to it. And our accountant was just brilliant. He is brilliant. So any questions I have now, anything I hear, any ways of saving tax, you know, I ping an email across, I get a response fairly quickly. I say fairly quickly, rapid actually, in comparison. So, you know, that's one of the most important lessons I've learned, is have a fantastic accountant. So that's one of the experiences I can share with you guys, is you must have a very good accountant, someone who's reliable, is there for you and can give you the best advice, because there's so many variations in companies of how to, you know, save tax ultimately, because you need to save tax. Tax is very important to save, because you are dealing with companies and fighting companies who don't pay tax. And that's sadly how the government has allowed it to happen. You know, you've got big companies earning billions and they don't pay no tax. It's extreme. It's the most stupid thing I've ever seen. So you've got the big corporations who earn tons of money, tons of profits, who are in a position to pay tax, but they won't pay the corporation tax, they won't pay the VAT. But yet the small to medium-sized businesses have to. And that's why the country's in the state it's in. But that's another conversation, another topic for another day. But it's disappointing when that's the case, because you're killing entrepreneurship, you're killing small to medium-sized businesses intentionally, in my opinion, because we haven't got much support anymore. It's very rare where a small to medium-sized business really feels like, you know, I'm doing well because of the government supporting me. It's very rare, because everything's stacked up against us. And that's the plan, I believe, monopolisation with the bigger companies, but that's, like I said, another conversation. Coming back to my accountant, you need a good accountant, and we've not only digitalised our accounts, we know everything now, every penny where it's allocated. It's so easy to click of a button, we can download all the information, we can give it to whoever we want, third parties. Anything you apply for nowadays, they want to see your account, so you can instantly give it to them. And it's good for your own, to develop the business. You should know what your business is doing, where it's weak, where it's strong, where you can improve, where the costs are, where you're losing money, and try to improve that. So that's very important, and therefore to have a great accountant, listen, I'm telling you, they're worth their weight in gold. So it's very important to have one. Thankfully I've got one now who's brilliant. So yeah, if someone can benefit from that, guys, yes, when you start off small, you don't probably need someone who's good, but as soon as you start hitting a decent amount of numbers, actually forget that, I'll take that back. From the get-go, get a great accountant. And there probably is a lot out there. Of course, you don't know who's who, but you shouldn't be chasing your accountant. Your accountant should be responsive, and your accountant should be giving you really thorough advice. See, my accountant, it was like a struggle getting information from him. You know, I used to ring him, and by the time I've got off the phone, I forgot half the logistical things he told me. You know, because it's not my field, so it's very easy to forget, or you're not sure, and you're still confused about interest and all the rest of it. It's a minefield. So, you know, you get an email, you can read over it again and again, and it's very important that you have that facility. So, yeah, guys, make sure you have a great accountant. You'll do well in your business. Well, it'll certainly help in your business. It won't hinder you. So, yeah, that's my advice for today. And thank you. And I wish you all the best, guys. And speak to you soon. Thank you.